everyone, Sparkle Butterfly here alongside with...
What's up, guys? It's me, my 1114, or Mickey.
And welcome to another video.
Yeah. And today, we're going to be reading chapters 7 through 12 today.
Yeah. Oh, and look! We even got an audience back here.
Yeah, see? These. We got... Hold on.
Vulpix,
RJ from BT21.
and Pikachu.
And Pikachu. Yeah. And they're going to be... Hey, don't forget Jimin on that side.
Oh yeah, Jimin.
Put Jimin by RJ.
Let's put him in front of RJ like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't forget this one either. You could sit right there. Yeah.
Okay, so Sparkle will be starting on chapter 7. This one's going to be a good one.
Alright. Chapter 7. Charlie's birthday. That should be good.
That's what I said. Let's get it.
Alright. Happy birthday! Cried all four of the old grandparents as Charlie came into the room early the next morning. Charlie smiled nervously and sat down on the edge of the bed. He was holding his present, his only present, very carefully in his two hands. Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight, it said on the wrapper. Oh, doesn't that sound delicious?
Mm-hmm. Yummy.
Okay. The four old people, two at either end, propped themselves up on their pillows and stared with anxious eyes at the candy bar in Charlie's hands. Mr. and Mrs. Bucket came in and stood at the foot of the bed, watching Charlie. The room became silent. Everybody was waiting now for Charlie to start opening his present. Charlie looked down at the candy bar. He ran his fingers slowly back and forth along the length of it, stroking it lovingly, and the shiny paper wrapper made little sharp crackly noises in the quiet room. ASMR.
For real.
That's ASMR for you. I wonder what was the first ASMR thing in history.
Probably rocks or something. You know, you never know.
If anyone knows about that, please let us know in the comments.
Okay, please let us know in the comments down below. That'll be great. Anyway, let's go.
Okay, where was I? Ah, yes. Then Mrs. Bucket said gently, You mustn't be too disappointed, my darling, if you don't find what you're looking for underneath the wrapper. You really can't expect to be as lucky as all that.
She's quite right,
Mr. Bucket said.
Charlie... Oh, wait.
That's my line! Okay. It's okay. It's alright. Expect us to make mistakes throughout this.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's all part of the fun.
So she's quite right.
Charlie didn't say anything. After all, Grandma Josephine said, in the whole wide world, there are only 3 tickets left to be found. The thing to remember, Grandma Georgina said, that whatever happens, you'll still have the bar of candy. Wonka's what? Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight, cried Grandpa George. It's the best of them all. You'll just love it.
Yes.
Charlie whispered.
I know.
Just forget about those golden tickets and enjoy the candy, Grandpa Joe said. Why don't you do that? They all knew it was ridiculous to expect this one poor little candy bar to have a magic ticket inside it, and they were trying as gently and as kindly as they could to prepare Charlie for the disappointment. That's nice. But there was one other thing that the grown-ups also knew, and it was this, that however small the chance might be of striking lucky, the chance was there. The chance had to be there. This particular candy bar had as much chance as any other of having a golden ticket. And that was why all the grandparents and parents in the room were acting as were actually just as tense and excited as Charlie was, although they were pretending to be very calm. "You better go ahead and open it up or you'll be late for school," Grandpa Joe said. "You may as well get it over with," Grandpa George said. Excuse me. "Open it, my dear," Georgina said. "Please open it. You're making me jumpy." Very slowly, Charlie's fingers began to tear open one small corner of the wrapping paper. The old people in the bed all leaned forward, craning their scraggly necks. Wait, what does that say? Scraggy necks, excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Then suddenly, as though he couldn't bear the suspense any longer, Charlie tore the wrapper right down the middle, and onto his lap there fell a light brown, creamy colored chocolate candy bar. There was no sign of the golden ticket anywhere. "Well, that's that," said Grandpa Joe brightly. "It's just what we expected." Charlie looked up. 4 kind old faces were watching him intently?
Yeah.
Intently from the bed. He smiled at them. A small, sad smile. And then he shrugged his shoulders and picked up the candy bar and held it out to his mother and said,
"Here, Mother, have a bit. We'll share it. I want everybody to taste it."
"Certainly not," his mother said, and the others all cried, No, we wouldn't dream of it. It's all yours."
"Please,"
begged Charlie, turning around and offering it to Grandpa Joe. But neither he nor anyone else would take even a tiny bite. "It's time to go to school, my darling," Mrs. Bucket said, putting an arm around Charlie's skinny shoulders. "Come on, or you'll be late."
Dang. No.
That's disappointing.
It's water. Cheers.
Let's have a water break. Oh, that's better.
Nice. It was grape juice before, but I put water in it now.
It's always important to stay hydrated. Always have some water nearby when you're reading a story like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
My turn. That's a
Okay.
BTS reference.
Okay.
Okay.
Jim knows what you're talking about, I'm sure.
I'm sure you do.
Eee. Alright.
Chapter 8. 2 more golden tickets found.
Alright.
That evening, Mr. Bucket's newspaper announced the finding of not only the 3rd golden ticket, but the 4th as well. The golden tickets found today screamed headlines. Only one more left.
Ooh, one more left. This is exciting. All right. What?
You're funny. Okay.
Ah.
Go.
All right.
Oh, said Grandpa Joe. When the whole family was gathered in the old people's room after supper,
Let's hear who found them.
the 3rd ticket read Mr. Bucket, holding the newspaper up close to his face because his eyes were bad and he couldn't afford glasses.
Oh, poor fella.
I know.
That's not good at all.
The 3rd ticket was found by a Miss Violet Beauregard. I look at you every now.
That's me.
There was great excitement in the Beauregard household when the reporter arrived to interview the lucky young lady. Cameras were clicking and flashbulbs were flashing and people were pushing and jostling. Yeah, and trying to get a bit closer to the famous girl. And the famous girl was standing on a chair in the living room, waving the golden ticket madly at arm's length, as though she were flagging a taxi. She was talking very fast. Oh Lord, I remember this part in the movie. very fast and very loudly to everyone. But it was not easy to hear all that she said because she was chewing so ferociously upon a piece of gum at the same time.
Hold on. I just want to say first, for those of you who don't know, I was actually Violet Beauregard in a play.
She slayed it! Slay!
Thanks. Okay, so I'm gonna read as Violet.
She's my Violet.
Okay. I'm a gum chewer normally,
She shouted.
but when I heard about these ticket things of Mr. Wonka's, I laid off the gum and switched to candy bars in the hopes of striking lucky. Now, of course, I'm right back on the gum. I just adore gum. I can't do without it. I munch it all day long, except for a few minutes at meal times when I take it out and stick it behind my ear for safekeeping. To tell you the honest truth, I simply wouldn't feel comfortable if I didn't have that little wedge of gum to chew on every moment of the day. I really wouldn't. My mother says it's not ladylike, and it looks ugly to see a girl's jaws going up and down like mine do all the time. But I don't agree. And who's she to criticize anyway? Because if you ask me, I'd say her jaws are going up and down almost as much as mine are, just from yelling at me every minute of the day. You want to be Violet's mom?
Sure.
Okay.
Now Violet. Miss Beauregard said from a far corner of the room where she was standing on the piano to avoid being trampled by the mob.
All right, Mother, keep your hair on.
Miss Beauregard shouted. And now she... Hold on.
That's my line.
Yeah,
And now!
She went on, turning to the reporters again.
It may interest you to know that this piece of gum I'm chewing right now at this moment, I've been working on for over 3 months solid. That's a record, that is. It's beating the record held by my best friend, Miss Cornelia Princemetal. And was she mad? It's my most treasured possession now. This piece of gum is. At night, I just stick it on the end of my bedpost. And it's just as good as ever in the mornings. A bit hard at first, maybe. But it soon softens up again after I give it a few good chews. Before I started chewing for the world record, I used to change my piece of gum once a day. I used to do it in the elevator on the way home from school. Why the elevator? Because I like sticking the gooey piece I just finished with onto one of the elevator buttons. Then the next person who came along and pressed that button got my old gum on the end of their finger. Ha ha! That's disgusting.
Ew.
I would never do that. And what a racket they kicked up, some of them. You get the best results with women who have expensive gloves on. Oh yes, I'm thrilled to be going to Mr. Wonka's factory, and I understand that afterwards he's going to give me enough gum to last me the rest of my whole life. Whoopee! Hooray! Beastly girl.
Said Grandma Josephine.
Despicable.
Said Grandma Georgina.
She'll come to a sticky end one day, chewing all that gum. You see if she doesn't.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
This is fun.
I know. And who got the fourth golden ticket, Daddy? Charlie asked. Now let me see. Wait. Now let me see. Mr. Bucket, peering at the newspaper again. Ah, yes, here we are. The fourth golden ticket, he read, was found by a boy called Mike TV.
Another bad lot, I'll be bound.
Muttered Grandma Josephine.
Don't interrupt, Grandma.
Said Miss Bucket. The TV household, said Mr. Bucket. Going on with his reading, was crammed like
all the others.
Like all the others, was it, with excited visitors. When our reporter arrived, but young Mike TV, the lucky winner, seemed extremely annoyed by the whole business.
I think it would be funny if you did this one.
Ah, no. Okay. It's my time to shine.
It's your turn to shine in this one. Okay.
Can't you fools? My voice can't. Okay.
Drink some water first. Yeah, I'll do it with you. Okay, that's better. Now try again.
Hold on. Can't you fools see I'm watching television? He said angrily. I wish you wouldn't interrupt.
That was rude.
The 9-year-old boy was seated before an enormous television set, with his eyes glued on the TV, glued on the screen, and he was watching a film in which one bunch of gangsters was shooting up another bunch of gangsters with machine guns. Mike TV himself had no less than 18 toy pistols of various sizes hanging from belts around his body, and every now and again he would leap up into the air and fire off half dozens rounds from one or another of these weapons. Quiet! Wait, no. Quiet! He shouted when someone tried to ask him a question. Didn't I tell you not to interrupt? This show is an absolute whiz banger. It's terrific. I watch it every day. I watch all of them every day. Even the crummy ones.
I think Mickey's broken.
I'm broken. Okay.
Here, let me fix you. Hang on. Boop 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 boop. Beep.
I watch them all day. I watched all of them every day, even the crummy ones. Where there's no shooting, I like the gangsters best.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
That's a crazy Mike TV.
Look at that.
Okay.
They're terrific. Those gangsters, especially when they start pumping each other full of lead, or flashing the stilettos, or giving each other the 1, 2, 3 with their knuckle dusters. Oh boy, wouldn't I give to be doing that myself? It's the life, I tell you. It's terrific.
That's quite enough.
Said Grandma Josephine.
I can't bear to listen to it. Nor me.
Said Grandma Georgina.
Do old children behave like this nowadays? Like these brats we've been hearing about?
Of course not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course not, Mr. Bucket, smiling at the old lady in the bed. Same do, of course.
Same do.
Oh, some do, of course. In fact, quite a lot of them do, but not all.
And now there's only one ticket left.
Said Grandpa George.
Quite so.
Sniffled Grandma Georgina.
And just as sure as I'll be having cabbage soup for supper tomorrow, that ticket will go to some nasty little beast who doesn't deserve it. It's my turn now.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 9. Grandpa Joe takes a gamble. Oh, goodness. Okay. The next day, when Charlie came home from school and went to see his grandparents, he found that only Grandpa Joe was awake. The other three were all snoring loudly. Shh, whispered Grandpa Joe, and he beckoned Charlie to come closer. Charlie tiptoed over and stood beside the bed. The old man gave Charlie a sly grin, and then he started rummaging under his pillow with one hand. And when the hand came back out again, there was an ancient leather purse clutched in his fingers. Under cover of the bedclothes, the old man opened the purse and tipped it upside down. Out fell a single silver 10-cent piece. That's my secret hoard, he whispered. The others don't know I've got it. And now, you and I are going to have one more fling at finding that last ticket. How about it, eh? But you'll have to help me.
Are you sure you want to spend your money on that, Grandpa?
Charlie whispered. Of course I'm sure, sputtered the old man excitedly. Don't stand there arguing. I'm just as crazy as you are finding that ticket. Here, Take the money and run down to the nearest store and buy the first Wonka candy bar you see. Bring it straight back to me, and we'll open it together." Charlie took the little silver coin and slipped quickly out of the room. In 5 minutes, he was back. "Have you got it?" whispered Grandpa Joe, with his hands shining with excitement. Charlie nodded and held out the candy bar. "Wonka's Nutty Crunch Surprise," it said on the wrapper. Ooh. Bet that's a good one. You'd like that one, I bet.
Maybe.
Never know. I wonder what the surprise is, though. Well, I guess it's a surprise. Okay, Good, the old man whispered, sitting up in the bed and rubbing his hands. "Now, come here. Come over here and sit close to me, and we'll open it together. Are you ready?"
Yes.
Charlie said.
"I'm ready." All right.
All right. You tear off the first bit.
"No,"
Charlie said.
"you paid for it. You do it all."
The old man's fingers were trembling so terribly as they fumbled with the candy bar. "We don't have a hope, really," he whispered, giggling a bit. "You do know that we don't have a hope, you do, don't you?"
"Yes,
Charlie said.
I know that."
They looked at each other and both started giggling nervously. "Mind you," said Grandpa Joe, "there is just a tiny chance that it might be in this one, don't you agree?"
"Yes,
Charlie said.
of course. Why don't you open it, Grandpa?"
"All in good time, my dear boy, all in good time. Which end should I open first?"
That corner. Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. That corner. The one furthest from you. Just tear off a tiny bit, but not quite enough for us to see anything."
"Like that?" said
Yeah.
the old man.
"Yes. Now a little bit more."
"You finish it," said Grandpa Joe. "I'm too nervous."
"No, Grandpa. You must do it yourself." Yeah. Wait,
Very
no.
well, then. Here goes. He tore off the wrapper, and they both stared at what lay underneath. It was a bar of candy. Nothing more. All at once, they both saw the funny side of the whole thing, and they burst into peals of laughter. "What the heck's going on?" cried Grandma Josephine, waking up suddenly. "Nothing," said Grandpa Joe. "You go back to sleep."
Dang.
I thought they were going to be so close.
I'm sad. I'm so sad.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
I know they get it, because look at that.
It says so on the cover.
Okay. Chapter 10. The family begins to starve. During the next 2 weeks, the weather turned very cold. First came the snow. It began very suddenly one morning, just as Charlie Bucket was getting dressed for school. Standing by the window, he saw the huge flakes drifting. Oh, you scared me.
No, sorry.
Drifting slowly down out of an icy sky that was the color of steel.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. By evening, it lay 4 deep around
4 feet deep.
4 feet deep around the tiny house, and Mr. Bucket had to dig a path from the front door to the road.
Wow, 4 feet deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
Oh.
What? What's so funny?
Nothing.
Okay.
After the snow, there came a freezing gale that blew for days and days without stopping. And oh, how bitter and cold it was. Just like how it is now.
It's because I got the fan on.
I know.
It's fine.
Everything that Charlie touched seemed to be made of ice. And each time he stepped outside the door, the wind was like a knife on his cheek.
That is bad.
Inside the house, little jets of freezing air came rushing in through the sides of the windows and under the doors, and there was no place to go to escape them.
That's not good. That's terrible.
The four old ones lay silent and huddled in their bed, trying to keep the cold out of their bones.
Ugh.
The excitement over the golden ticket had long since
Been forgotten.
Nobody in the family gave a thought now on to anything except, yeah, I read that right.
Yeah.
The two vital problems of trying to keep warm and trying to get enough to eat. There is something about very cold weather that gives one an enormous appetite.
That's true.
Yeah. Especially whenever it's like warm and you want warmness in your belly.
Yeah.
Like hot chocolate.
Oh yeah, hot chocolate's good.
Most of us find ourselves beginning to crave rich steaming stews and
Oh.
hot apple pies and all kinds of delicious warming dishes. Oh, that sounds good. Dang.
Like the taco soup.
Yes, and or
the chicken and tomato sauce over rice.
Oh, I would.
Oh. That is delicious.
Oh, your mom is chili.
Oh.
Sheesh. Anyway.
Okay, we're just making ourselves hungry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry if we made you hungry too.
And because we are all a great deal, luckier than we realize. We usually get what we want, or near enough. But Charlie Bucket never got what he wanted because the family couldn't afford it. And as the cold weather went on and on, he became
Ravenously?
and desperately hungry.
Oh, poor Charlie.
Both bars of candy the
birthday one?
The birthday one and the one Grandpa Joe had bought had been sent long since nibbled away. Aww. And all he got now were those thin, cabbagey meals 3 times a day.
Poor Charlie. I feel terrible. You know, if we lived in the same neighborhood as Charlie, we would invite him and his family every day to come eat some food with us.
Yeah, some nice warm food.
Yeah. Or we could just go over to their house and offer them some.
Yeah. Okay. Then all at once, the meals became even thinner. The reason for this was that the toothpaste factory, I can't say toothpaste, the place where Mr. Bucket worked, suddenly went bust and had to close down.
Oh no.
Quickly, Mr. Bucket tried to get another job, but he had no luck. In the end, the only way in which he managed to earn a few pennies was by shoveling snow in the streets. In that cold weather? Come on, man.
Goodness, he's gonna get sick.
But it wasn't enough to buy even a quarter of the food that 7 people needed. The situation became desperate. Breakfast was a single slice of bread for each person now, and lunch was maybe half a boiled potato.
Wow.
Hey, slowly but surely, everybody in the house began to starve.
Oh no.
It's sad.
This is sad.
And every day, little Charlie Bucket, trudging through the snow on his way to school, would have to pass Mr. Wonka's giant chocolate factory. And every day, as he came near to it, he would lift his small pointed nose high in the air and sniff the wonderful sweet smell of melting chocolate. Just imagine now. Chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes he would stand motionless outside the gates for several minutes on end, taking deep swallowing breaths as though he were trying to eat the smell itself.
Can you imagine eating smells?
Just a good one, guys.
No,
This-
seriously, could you imagine?
Just like, like, what's that smell? I gotta taste it. Anyway,
Oh dear. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
go.
Huh?
That child.
Oh, wait. Where is it at? Oh, that child.
Said Grandpa Joe, poking his head. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, that's yours.
Poking his head up from from under the blanket on one icy morning.
That child has got to have more food. Doesn't matter about us. We're too old to bother with. But a growing boy. He can't go on like this. He's beginning to look like a skeleton. But what can one do?
Murmured Grandma Josephine, miserably.
He refuses to take any of ours. I heard his mother tried to slip her own piece of bread onto his plate at breakfast this morning, but he wouldn't touch it. He made her take it back. He's a fine little fellow.
Said Grandpa George.
He deserves better than this.
The cruel weather went on, and every day Charlie Bucket grew thinner and thinner.
Oh no.
His face became frighteningly white and pinched.
Mm.
The skin was drawn so lightly over the cheeks that you...
Tightly. Drawn so tightly.
What did I say?
Lightly.
Was drawn so tightly over the cheeks that you could see the shape of the bones underneath.
Oh my gosh.
It seems doubtful whether he could go on much longer like this without becoming dangerously ill.
My gosh.
And now, very calmly, with the curious wisdom that seems to come so often to small children in times of hardship, he began to make little changes here and there in some of the things that he did, so as to save his strength. Yes. In the mornings, he left the house 10 minutes earlier so he could walk slowly to school without ever having to run. He sat quietly in the I know. He sat quietly in the classroom during recess, resting himself, while the others rushed outdoors and threw snowballs and wrestled in the snow. Everything he did now, he did slowly and carefully, due to prevent exhaustion. Dang.
Very smart.
Then one afternoon, walking back home with the icy wind in his face, and accidentally feeling hungrier than he had ever felt before, his eye was caught suddenly by a piece of paper that was flying in the gutter. Lying.
Ah! Here, are you broken again? Let me fix you. Boop, 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 boop. And push the button on the back. Boop.
That was lying in the gutter in the snow. The paper was of a greenish color, and there was something vaguely familiar about it. Charlie stepped off the curb and bent down to examine it. Part of it was buried under the snow, but he saw at once what it was. It was a dollar bill.
Ooh.
Quickly he looked around him. Had somebody
just dropped this?
Fix me again.
Boop, 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 boop.
Had somebody just dropped it? No. That was impossible because of the way because of the way part of it was buried.
There you go.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired.
You're fine. I'm tired too, to be honest.
Several people went hurrying past him on the sidewalk, their chins sunk deep in the collars of their coats, their feet crunching in the snow, and none of them was searching for any money. None of them was taking the slight notice of the small boy crouching in the gutter. Then it was his. This dollar? Could he have it? Carefully, Charlie pulled it down.
Pulled it out.
Ah!
Relax.
Carefully, Charlie pulled it out from under the snow. It was damp and dirty, but otherwise perfect. A whole dollar! I don't know why I just did that.
You're fine. Keep going. You're doing great.
Ah! A whole dollar! He held it tightly between his shivering fingers, gazing down at it. It meant one thing to him at that moment. Only one thing. It meant food. Automatically, Charlie turned and began moving towards the nearest shop. It was only 10 paces away. It was a newspaper and a sanctuary.
Stationery.
Where did I get sanctuary from? Okay, a newspaper and a stationery store that sells the kind that sells almost everything, including candy and cigars. And what?
What?
She said.
I thought you didn't notice.
I did. I heard you go. And what he would do, he whispered quickly to himself, he would buy one delicious bar of candy and eat it all up. Every bit of it right then and there. And the rest of the money he would take straight back home and give it to his mother.
Aww. Sweet Charlie.
Number 11.
It's my turn.
I know. Hey! My turn!
No, my turn.
Okay.
Chapter 11. The Miracle. Ooh.
Come on!
Oh, sheesh. Are you that anxious? Okay.
Even though I know. Okay.
Alright. Charlie entered the store and laid the damp dollar bill on the counter.
One Wonka's whipple scrumptious fudge mellow. Hold on.
Try saying that 5 times fast, ladies and gentlemen.
One Wonka's whipple scrumptious fudge mellow delight,
he said, remembering how much he had loved the one he had on his birthday. The man behind the counter looked fat and well-fed. He had big lips and fat cheeks and a very fat neck. My goodness. The fat around his neck bulged out all around to the top of his collar like a rubber ring. Well, okay. I'm not judging the writing, but you know, isn't it kind of rude to call someone fat? Oh, never mind. Where was I? Ah, yes. He turned and reached behind him for the candy bar, and then he turned back again and handed it to Charlie. Charlie grabbed it and quickly tore off the wrapper and took an enormous bite. And then he took another, and another, and another, and oh, the joy of being able to cram large pieces of something sweet and solid into one's mouth. The sheer blissful joy of being able to fill one's mouth with rich, solid food.
Want me to do it?
You can if you want to.
You look like you wanted that one, Sonny.
The shopkeeper said pleasantly. Charlie nodded, his mouth bulging with chocolate. The shopkeeper put Charlie's change on the counter.
Take it easy,
he said.
It'll give you a gut ache if you swallow it like that without chewing.
Charlie went on woofing the chocolate. He couldn't stop. And in less than half a minute, the whole thing had disappeared down his throat. He was quite out of breath. but he felt marvelously, extraordinarily happy. Extraordinarily happy. He reached out a hand to take the change. Then he paused. His eyes were just above the level of the counter. They were staring at the little silver coins lying there. The coins were all dimes. There were 9 of them together. Surely it wouldn't matter if he spent just one more.
I think
He said quietly.
I'll just have one more of those candy bars. The same kind as before, please. Why not?
The fat shopkeeper said. Here we go with that again. Reaching behind him again and taking another Whipple scrumptious fudge mellow delight from the shelf. He laid it on the counter. Charlie picked it up and tore off the wrapper. Then suddenly, from underneath the wrapper, there came a brilliant flash of gold! Oh my goodness. Charlie's heart stood still.
It's the golden ticket!
Screamed the shopkeeper, leaping about a foot in the air.
You've got a golden ticket! You found the last golden ticket! Hey, what do you know? Come back!
Come back!
Come and look at this, everybody! This kid's found Wonka's last golden ticket! There it is! It's right there in his hands!
It seemed as though the shopkeeper was going to have a fit.
In my shop, too!
He yelled.
Wait.
Yeah.
He found it right here in my own little shop. Someone called the newspaper company. Newspapers, quick, and let them know. Watch out, Sonny. Don't tear it as you unwrap it. That thing's precious.
In a few seconds, there was a crowd of about 20 people clustering around Charlie, and many more were pushing their way from the streets.
Where is it?
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
I'm not done yet. Everyone wanted to get a look at the golden ticket.
Where is it?
And the lucky finder.
Sugar!
It's okay.
Now?
I'm there now.
Where is it?
Someone shouted.
Hold up. Hold it up so all of us can see it.
There it is! Someone else shouted. He's holding it in his hand. See the gold shining?
How did he manage to find it? I'd like to know.
A large voice said angrily.
20 bars a day I've been buying for weeks and weeks.
Think of all the free stuff he'll be getting too, another voice said enviously. A lifetime supply!
Want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. He'll need it. The skinny little shrimp.
Oh, that was rude, the girl said, laughing. Oh my gosh! Well, sheesh!
She said he'll need it to turn a little shrimp.
That's Jimin.
Jimin.
Do you believe this?
Yeah, you believe this, Jimin?
Does anybody believe this?
That's rude in my books.
Ugh, okay. Alright. Where was I? guess. Charlie hadn't moved. He hadn't even unwrapped the golden ticket from around the candy bar. He was standing very still, holding it tightly with both hands, while the crowd pushed and shouted all around him. He felt quite dizzy. There was a peculiar floating sensation coming over him, as though he were floating up in the air like a balloon. His feet didn't seem to be touching the ground at all. He could hear his heart thumping away loudly somewhere in his throat. At that point, he became aware of a hand resting lightly on his shoulder, and when he looked up, he saw a tall man standing over him.
Oh no, is this stupid guy?
You mean Slugworth?
Yeah!
I don't know, let's see.
Listen,
the man whispered.
I'll buy it from you. I'll give you $50. How about it, eh? And I'll give you a new bicycle as well. A new bicycle as well, okay?
Are you crazy? Shouted a woman who was standing equally close. Why, I'd give him $500 for that ticket. You want to sell that ticket for $500, young man?
That's quite enough of that.
The shopkeeper shouted, pushing his way through the crowd and taking Charlie firmly by the arm.
Leave that kid alone, will ya?
Make way.
Make way. Let him out. And to Charlie...
That's...
Ah, crap!
That's my line. Okay. And to Charlie, As he led him to the door, he whispered,
"Don't you let nobody have it. Take it straight home, quickly before you lose it. Run all the... Wait.
Yeah.
Run all the way and don't stop till you get there. You understand?"
Charlie nodded.
"You know something?
The shopkeeper said, pausing a moment and smiling at Charlie.
I have a feeling you needed a break like this. I'm awfully glad you got it. Good luck to you, Sonny." "Thank you,"
Charlie said. And off he went, running through the snow as fast as his legs could go. And as he flew past Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, he turned and waved at it and sang out,
"I'll be seeing you! I'll be seeing you soon!"
And 5 minutes later, he arrived at his own home.
My boy got his ticket!
Yeah!
My boy!
Woohoo!
Oh, okay.
All right. Chapter 12. Now it's time for Mickey. Oh, yes. Hold on. Water. We're getting good here, folks. All right.
Okay. Here's
All
where
right.
the fun begins.
Here we go.
Chapter 12. What it said on the golden ticket. Mother! Mother! Miss Bucket.
Hold on. You missed a part.
Sugar. Okay. Charlie burst through the front door, shouting, "Mother! Mother!" Miss Bucket was in the old grandparents' room serving their evening soup. "Mother!" yelled Charlie, rushing in on them like a hurricane. Look, Mother! Wait, look! I got it! Look, Mother, look! The last golden ticket is mine! I found some money. Jesus.
No, keep going.
Okay. I found some money in the street and I bought 2 candy bars and the second one had the golden ticket, and there was crowds of people all around me wanting to see it, and the shopkeeper rescued me and I ran all the way home, and here I am. It's mine, and it's the 5th golden ticket, Mother, and I found it.
Wow.
Whew.
Good job.
Mrs. Bucket simply stood and stared while the 4 old grandparents, who were sitting up in bed, balancing bowls of soup on their laps, all dropped their spoons. Dropped their spoons with a clatter and froze against their pillows. For about 10 seconds, there was absolute silence in the room. Nobody dared to speak or move. It was a magic moment.
Keep on.
No, you're Grandpa Joe. Oh, yeah. Then very softly, Grandpa Joe said,
You're pulling our legs, Charlie, aren't you? You're having a little joke?
"I am not," Charlie said, rushing up to the bed and holding out the large, beautiful golden ticket for him to see. Grandpa Joe leaned forward and took a close look, his nose almost touching the ticket, the others watching him, waiting for the verdict. Then very slowly if I see the word slowly one more time, then very slowly with a slow and marvelous grin spreading all over his face, Grandpa Joe lifted his head and looked straight at Charlie. The color was rushing to his cheeks, and his eyes were wide open, shining with joy. And in the center of each eye, right in the very center, and the black pupil of little spark of wild excitement was slowly dancing. The old man took a deep breath, and suddenly, with no warning whatsoever, an explosion seemed to take place inside him. He threw his arms up and yelled,
Yippee!
and the same time, his long, bony body rose up out of the bed, and his bowl of soup went flying into the face of Grandma Josephine. Look at that, guys! Show them. Look at that. Poor grandma.
Oh no.
Poor grandma.
Oh no. Okay.
Poor Grandma Josephine. And in one fantastic leap, the old fellow of 96 and a half, who hadn't been out of bed these last 20 years, jumped onto the floor and started doing a dance of victory in his pajamas.
Yippee!
He shouted.
3 cheers for Charlie! Hip hip hooray!
At this point, the door opened and Mr. Bucket walked into the room. He was cold and tired, and he looked it. All day long, he had been shoveling snow in the streets. Wait, cripes!
Yeah, you got it.
Cripes! He cried. What's going on here? It didn't take them long to tell him what happened. I don't believe it, he said. It's not possible.
Show him the ticket, Charlie!
Shouted Grandpa Joe, who was still dancing around the floor like a dervish in his striped pajamas.
Show your father the 5th and last golden ticket in the world!
Let me see it, Charlie, Mr. Bucket said, collapsing into a chair and holding out his hand. Charlie came forward with the precious document. It was a very beautiful thing, the golden ticket having been made. Yes. So it seemed from a sheet of pure gold hammered out of. Yeah, I read that right.
Mm-hmm.
Out almost to the thinness of paper. One side of it printed by some clever method in jet black letters was the invitation itself from Mr. Wonka.
Read aloud,
said Grandpa Joe, climbing back into bed again at last.
Let's all hear exactly what it says.
Mr. Bucket held the lovely golden ticket up close to his eyes. His hands were trembling slightly, and he seemed to be overcome by the whole business. He took several deep breaths, then he cleared his throat and said, "All right, I'll read it. Here we go." Okay. Let's go!
Let's do it. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Let's see. Anyway. Okay. Here's what Mr. Wonka said, guys.
Mm-hmm.
One more water break.
Yeah.
Sheep.
Oh no.
Okay. Greetings to you, the lucky finder of this golden ticket, from Mr. Willy Wonka. I said from Mr. Willy Wonka.
That was a terrible face. Why did I do that? Okay.
I shake you warmly by the hand. Tremendous things are in store for you. Many wonderful surprises await you. For now, I do invite you to come to my factory and be my guest for one whole day. And you and all others who are lucky enough to find my golden tickets, Willy Wonka, will conduct you around the factory myself, showing you everything that there is to see. And afterwards, when it is time to leave, you will be escorted home by a procession of large trucks. These large trucks, I can promise you, will be loaded with enough delicious eatables to last you and your entire household for many years. If at any time thereafter you should run out of supplies, you have only to come back to the factory and show this golden ticket, and I shall be happy to refill your cupboard with whatever you want. In this way, you will be able to keep yourself supplied with tasty morsels for the rest of your life.
Mm.
But this is by no means the most exciting thing that will happen on the day of your visit. I am preparing other surprises that are even more marvelous and more fantastic for you and for all my beloved golden ticket holder mystics, and marvelous surprises that will entrance, delight, intrigue, and astonish and perplex you beyond measure. In your wildest dreams, you could not imagine that such things could happen to you. Just wait and see. And now, here are your instructions. The day I have chosen for the visit is for the first day in the month of February. And on this day, and no other.
Yeah.
I got it. You must come to the factory gates at 10 o'clock sharp in the morning. Don't be late, and you are allowed to bring with you either one or two members of your family of your own family to look after you and to ensure that you don't get into mischief. One more thing. Be certain to have this ticket with you. Otherwise, you will not be admitted. Signed, Mr. Wonka.
The first day of February?
Cried Miss Bucket.
But that's tomorrow. Today's the last day of January. I know it is.
Cripes! Said Mr. Bucket. I think you're right,
You're just in time.
said Grandpa Joe.
There's not a moment to lose. You must start making preparations at once. Wash your face, comb your hair, scrub your hands, brush your teeth, blow your nose, cut your nails, polish your shoes, iron your shirt, and for heaven's sakes, get all that mud off your pants. You must get ready, my boy. You must get ready for the biggest day of your life. Now don't you overexcite yourself, Grandpa.
Mrs. Bucket said.
And don't fluster poor Charlie. We all must try to keep very calm. Now the first thing we need to decide is this. Who is going to go with Charlie to the factory? I will!
Shouted Grandpa Joe, leaping out of bed once again.
I'll take him. I'll look after him. You leave him to me.
Mrs. Bucket smiled at the old man. Then she turned to her husband and said,
How about you, dear? Don't you think you ought to go?
Well, Mr. Bucket said, pausing to think about it. No, I'm not sure that I should.
But you must.
There is no way about...
There's no must.
There's no must about it, my dear. Mr. Bucket said...
Does that help you?
Mr. Bucket said gently...
That's not gently!
Mr. Bucket said gently... Mind you, I love to go. It'll be tremendously exciting. But on the other hand, I believe that the person who really deserves to go most of all is Grandpa Joe himself. He seems to know more about it than we do. Provided, of course, that he feels well enough.
Yippee!
Shouted Grandpa Joe, seizing Charlie by the hand and dancing around the room.
He certainly seems well enough.
Miss Bucket said. Laughing.
Yes. Perhaps you're right after all. Perhaps Grandpa Joe should be the one to go with him. I certainly can't go myself and leave the other three old people all alone in bed the whole day. Hallelujah!
Yelled Grandpa Joe.
Praise the Lord!
At that point, there came a loud knock on the front door. Mr. Bucket went to open it, and the next moment, swarms of newspapermen and photographers, before you even say anything, photographers, not photographers.
Oopsies.
Photographers were pouring into the house. They had tracked down the finder of the fifth golden ticket, and now they all wanted to get the full story for the front pages of morning papers. For several hours, there was complete pandemonium. That's a big word.
Wow.
In the little house, and it must have been nearly midnight before Mr. Bucket was able to get rid of them so that Charlie could go to bed.
Yes. All right. Well, that was great fun.
Charlie's going to the chocolate factory.
Ah! The next episode we do this, we'll be going into the factory.
We're on 13.
Ah.
Anyways, I hope you guys liked that, and yeah. Dang, an hour?
Wow.
Jeez.
We've been doing this for an hour? My goodness,
Yeah.
this is going to be a good video.
Anyways, guys, we hope that you liked that one. Stay tuned for the next one, and remember, if you don't have no BTS merch, what are you doing?
And always remember to keep calm and sparkle on. We'll see you next time. Wait, when are we going to do another one of these? Do you know?
Not tomorrow?
Not tomorrow?
If you want.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Anyways, guys, goodbye.
Bye-bye. You're all the best. Bye.
We purple you.